the crease. So Anthony Stolarz comes in. We're looking at a Woll Stolarz tandem. How do you feel about that?
I honestly think it's pretty good, to be totally honest with you, especially like with Woll's contract not really kicking in until next season. He doesn't make a lot of money this year, and you think about having him, Stolarz, and of course, let's not forget Thunder Bay's own Matt Murray too. I think another one that, Joseph Woll, obviously he's shown what he can do, right? He can play. He is a guy that can play in the big stage. He seems to be able to handle the pressure of it. The biggest thing is his, durability and staying healthy, which is a huge question mark on him. And something I think as a team where you need a guy to try to bring you over to the promised land. I think he is the guy. He has the capability, but he needs to stay healthy and he needs to play, I don't know if they run with him, if they try to do like a 1A, 1B here this year, like kind of what Boston did. Because Anthony Stolarz, again, is a guy who hasn't played a ton of games either. He's got 28 games played as a career high. He's played a lot more games in the American Hockey League, which is, obviously I don't want to disregard that by any means, but the American League is not the NHL, right? So I feel like this is a good mix and a pretty good signing, I think, at that price. So they have their goalies pretty cheap here next year. But I also think I wouldn't be surprised if you see Matt Murray at some point. You know what I mean? He just came off double hip surgery. I've chatted with him a lot. I know him very well. He wants to try to make a run back at this in the sense, right? So he might get an opportunity. Look at last year, the way Martin Jones came in. I don't know if it'll be along that standpoint, but at the same time, he's got a lot to prove this year too.
Yeah, I think all these guys have something to prove. And I love the motivation factor. I'd be the first to admit that I'm a bit skeptical, as you referenced, these guys can stay healthy. I think my big proclamation on July 1 is that Dennis Hildeby will see NHL time this upcoming season, and then you'd have to go 4 goalies deep for that to happen. But again, you would know better than me. That's why I lean on you for conversations like this. I think as the days go by, I feel a bit more positive about Anthony Stolarz. I think it's just so important to stress how good the Panthers were defensively, how good that team was in front of him. I'm not discrediting the Maple Leafs, but there's a reason that team won a Stanley Cup this season, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to expect a bit of a regression from Stolarz when he goes to the Maple Leafs, all the smoke that comes with being a Maple Leaf. I think you have to bake that into the finished product, if you will. But I still think the consistency can be there. And ultimately, I just want 2 guys to push each other. Like, there's no bona fide number 1 in my world. I think it's there for the taking for both guys. And may the best man win. But I like what they've done bridging the gap to Hildeby in a couple years, if assuming he's ready to be a guy, he can be an NHL guy. And then you sign the contract with Woll as well. Like, they have some options here.
Yeah, no, I like it. And I also think for Stolarz, he probably had options. I've been through free agency a few times, times where I was scraping to get a job and times where I had options, right? And I had good seasons I was coming off of. Obviously, I was never on a Stanley Cup team in that sense. I was with the Hawks as a third goalie, but not actually part of the team in that sense. So for him, I'm sure this is something that he wants to be a part of, right? He knows Joseph Woll. Similar when I went from Nashville to St. Louis when Jake Allen came in, because I thought that Jake was a guy, Brian Elliott had left. Jake Allen was a first-year starter. It was my chance to really get in there and get a chance to play in the sense of, hey, if it doesn't go perfect, I'm going to be able to get leaned on a little more. And I kind of got that opportunity there, which opened more doors for me. So that's probably something that I think Stolarz sees in the situation of Joseph Woll. He's a younger guy. He's never really had the keys to the castle. And when he has, he's got hurt or it hasn't gone as planned. So I think there's a chance for him to play. And I think Stolarz, where he's at in that situation, is something that he wants to. He doesn't just want to sit on the bench and open the door forever, right? So this is his chance to really play well. And again, it's easy to judge a guy by what he's done so far with careers games played and that. But at the same time, he's never really got that chance, and this might be the year here.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Roseau. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.